उत्तमश्लोके
भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकीम्
भक्तिर्भगवते दयेष्टिकीम्।
ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथानिधं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवम् श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललितां श्रीविशाखानिधांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पदे गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोऽस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरूपस्य कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृन्द। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तुं सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनामधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ नमो नमो अनिरुद्धाय ऋषिकेशेन्द्रियात्मने नमः परमहंसाय पूर्णाय निवृत्तात्मने। ॐ नित्यानन्द उदितन्दुर्वसुध प्राणवल्लभ जानव जीवितपतिः कृष्ण प्रेम प्रद प्रभो पद्मावती सुध श्रीमान् सच्चिनन्दन पूर्वजः भावुन्मत्त जगत्रादरक्त गौरकलेवरः। हरिः ओम् तत्सत्। नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते रघुनाथ स्वामी नामिने। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य। Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you for joining this very auspicious Sangha, which we're going through very powerful section of understanding what is the pure love for Krishna. Very, very important chapter. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is revealing what is pure love for Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is revealing to whom? Anybody knows?
Yes. It is Ramananda.
This is a discussion between Ramananda Rai and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, in Gaura Leela, who is Ramananda Rai? In a confidential associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Ramananda Rai?
Vishakha Sakhi.
Vishakha Sakhi. And it is mentioned that also in Krishna Leela, Ramananda Rai was also Arjun. Yeah, Arjun. So that's why the part of the ruling. At the same time, in the Gaura Leela, it is mentioned that Ramananda Rai is Vishakha Sakhi. So this is nothing but between Krishna and his eternal confidential associate Vishakha Sakhi, Radha and Krishna, or Krishna, the exchange of their affection between each other. As it's always mentioned that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself. Then when Krishna himself comes to Jagannath Puri and seeing Krishna, how do they feel that? Right? So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes to Krishna in Jagannath Puri, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the mood of Srimati Radharani, that feeling of separation, So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is considered as is the Radha and Krishna combined. Sometimes that mostly Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is exhibiting the Radha Bhav, or that ecstatic, that the pure loving devotion to the Supreme. So that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to hear from Ramananda Rai or Vishaka Sakhi, right? Here, in the mood of Srimati Radharani, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Radharani never satisfies anything other than Krishna. Nobody can please Radharani without the name of Krishna. Nobody can, say anything other than the name of Krishna, or serve other than Krishna. So this is the Radha Bhav, the topmost devotee of the Lord is Srimati Radharani. So this is the internal confidential side of it, that Ramananda Rai and always, all the associate closest Sakhis, all the close Sakhis of Radharani and Krishna, all were always engaged in the service, always talking about Krishna, always thinking about Krishna, always that how can serve Krishna. And every moment they are thinking, they don't have anything else other than Krishna, they don't have any other thoughts. So this is what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through Ramananda Rai, but actually this is a confidential, this is a very transcendental association between Ramananda Rai and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Srimati Radharani in the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to hear that from Ramananda Rai or Vishaka Sakhi, that the topmost of all is actually the loving devotion to the Supreme. So that's what is this entire conversation is leading. And then we can see that in this chapter, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was asking Ramananda Rai to give more, give more, give more, tell more about the confidential subject matter, confidential science, or confidential affection between a devotee and Krishna. So how that should be. So who is that Supreme? That is Krishna himself. So that's why in this chapter, which is revealing these five, so the one should establish the relationship with the Krishna. So unless we have this relationship with the Krishna, then as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Ramananda Rai mentions and reveals, that one cannot come to that pure love for Krishna. Right? We know that in this world, right, there are certain extent that we can see that how the loving affection is manifested. Like just for an example, a husband and wife, yes, there is some little degree of, loving affection out there. Or a lover and a beloved, there is some, degree of affection is there. But we can see that when a mother loves a child, right, that we can, in this world, we can see that that is more pure than any other so-called love we say in this world. When a child and a mother, and then the mother has that very selfless love for towards their or her child, her son or daughter. So always this mother is thinks about that, the welfare, the well-being, and how to make and grow this child in a nice way, and puts that efforts, and put lots of efforts, sleepless nights, and sometimes doesn't eat on time, but to make sure that the child is well fed, child's welfare, child is happy, child is healthy, all the time the mother is looking. So this we can say that some extent that this is the pure love that mother has, love for the child. So we can see that in this world, right? This kinds of various. So unless there is a relationship, how we can have this love, pure love for Krishna, right? So we know that mother and child, there's a relationship, there's a parental relationship. So with that relationship, or a husband and wife, or a beloved or lover or beloved, there's a relationship, right? So unless one develop this relationship, how can one come to that, say that I love Krishna? No, because we cannot come to that stage. So that's why the sambandha, or the relationship to the Supreme, is very important. That's why Ramananda Rai, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was asked Ramananda Rai that how one can come to that love for Krishna. So when the question was the devotion to the Krishna, then how one should execute that devotion to Krishna, and then what is that how one should, and what is that devotion? That is nothing but the pure love for Krishna. So we can see that in the previous yesterday, Govinda Nandini Mataji was going through these 5 types of relationship with the Krishna. Anybody remembers the 5 malus, 5 rasas?
Yes.
That okay, okay.
Santaras,
Chandaras, okay. The one Dasiras, Sakiras,
parental ras,
and Valsilaras, and
conjugal ras.
yes, the Madhurya ras, or the conjugal ras or conjugal relationship. So this is very elaborately, very deep. Sri Ramananda Rai was telling and explaining that what it's all about. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to hear it. So I think some background noise. Okay, can you please put on mute? So this gives that understanding, and there is a discussion between, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to hear this more and more and more. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also replies to that. So when we look at the Shandaras, so then we can understand, okay, how one can reach to the stage of relationship. Anybody remembers how one can reach to that, establish a relationship with Krishna? There are so many examples out there, right? So many wonderful devotees. We know that in the story of Mother Yashoda and Nanda Baba, Devaki and, Vasudev. And we can see that all the gopis, and there are so many other devotees, and we can see that they develop the relationship, and the Krishna's friends in Vrindavan, Arjuna with Krishna. And then if you come to that Hanumanji, and there are lots of servants like Dhruv, lot of like Hanumanji. And then there are Daruka in Dwaraka, and then we can see that there is Uddhava. There is so many other very close associates of Krishna, and 16,108 gopis. So many we can see that they all have the relationship with Krishna. Mother Kundi has a relationship with Krishna, right? So they all established this relationship. So how did they come to that stage of develop that relationship with Krishna? Anybody remembers? What made them to come to that stage to establish a relationship with Krishna, the Supreme Lord? What led to? What made them? What caused?
Anukulya sankalpa something.
Pratikulasya varjita. Yes.
Pratikya varjya something. I remember.
Yes. That is surrender, right? That's Bhaktivinoda Thakur revealing that the way that one who surrenders to Krishna. So it's simple, and as we already many times we heard about it. And what is the way how one can come to that stage? So as we know that a person in the beginning, a person develop a faith. Faith means Shraddha, Adhau Shraddha. Then the person then further develops that, and he has that strong faith. Then he comes to that, and he comes to that stage of Sadhu Sangha. So he gets an opportunity, and or he, gets that desire to associate with the devotees. So slowly, his faith, the strong faith, strong conviction to the Supreme, and that led him to come to the stage of or get an opportunity to associate with the devotees, Sadhu Sangha. So by the association of devotees, this devotee or this aspiring devotee developed the taste for chanting the holy name. So this is a preliminary stage, right? So preliminary stage, and he develops the taste for chanting the holy name. So where it's come from? So one has strong faith, and in Srila Rupa Goswami is mentioning into the Nectar of Instruction that, right, Ulsaha Nishchaya Dhairya Tat Karma Pravartanat Sangatyaga Sadovurti Shadvriti Bhakti Pranakshiti. So one get that bhakti. Bhakti means nothing but love for the Supreme or loving devotional service to the Supreme. So when a devotee have this very strong faith in Krishna, when he gets an opportunity to associate with the devotees, so he get a taste for chanting the holy name, dear devotees. So this is the stage that a devotee progress in his, loving devotion to Krishna. So then he comes to that stage. Then he actually bhajana kriya or chanting of the holy name. By that process, he can eradicate, he can come out from his all internal and external problems. That is called anartha nivritti. Anartha means now we have all that we say that I am centered around mine, myself, I, me. This is mine. This is for me. I am the one. I am the great. I am that. These are all various kinds of self-centric because of Krishna is not there. We are, the self is there. We are surrounded. Everything is happening to us is surrounded by this sense of selfishness. Okay? Sense of selfishness. The Krishna is not there. We just say Krishna, okay, I need. Even that kind of mentality, the people worship the Lord, that is just for their own benefit, their own sense gratification, their own pleasure. We are asking so many things, not yet develop the love for Krishna. Okay? So anartha, unless we have, so by the process of the bhajana kriya, that chanting, this is called the sadhana bhakti. Okay, this is the preliminary stage called sadhana bhakti. So sadhana means practice. So when we practice this devotion sincerely and selflessly and with strong conviction and strong faith that the Supreme Lord, He is everything for me. That's why anugulasya sankalpa pradigulasya varjida, likes that all these six kinds of surrender, sharanagati, and then we completely take shelter of Krishna with that strong faith, and we chant the holy name and practice this devotion, and that's called the bhajana kriya.
Nishtha.
Then bhajana kriya, then what happens? Then we come to that our stage of purificatory stage. That's called, we can slowly eradicate our anarthas from our heart. That is, we have mainly six anarthas. There is lust, greed, anger, enviousness, arrogance, and illusion. So these are very much deep rooted in everybody's heart, very much deep rooted spirit. So only by our chanting bhajana kriya process, our devotional process of sadhana bhakti, then we can overcome this. We can overcome. Otherwise, we will be completely entangled or entangled, covered by this material clutches or material energy is very difficult to overcome. As Krishna says that, this or in my no Devi Yasha Gunamai, Mama Maya Durataya, Mameve Prabhadyante Mayameva. This material nature consists of three modes of material nature, is consist of my energy. It's very difficult to overcome unless one who come and take shelter and practice devotion in me, then only he can overcome this. Otherwise, it's very difficult. So, dear devotees, because of this influence of this material energy, they are completely covered by this material energy. It's very difficult to overcome only by this process of the chanting bhajana kriya with that strong devotion and conviction. At the same time, we associate with the devotees. It's not that when we chant bhajana kriya, we kind of left everything out. No, when we do the bhajana kriya, all the other, the previous ones, like the association of devotees and strong conviction, everything is there. With on top of it, when we practice this devotion, then what happens? Slowly we can eradicate all our impurities. That's called anartha nivritti. Okay. When it comes to that anartha nivritti, that means it's eradicated all our anarthas. Now we are coming to that our pure stage of, right? Now
Nishtha.
it is come to nishta. This is steadiness or determination. As Rupa goes, ulsaha nishchaya dhairya. Ulsaha means enthusiasm. Nishchaya means determination and dedication, and dhairya means patience. So now the devotee develops these all wonderful qualities. That means determination, dedication, and patience. Why? Because of he slowly came out from his all anarthas. Now he can understand things well. He can tolerate situations. He can manage, some kinds of agitated situations. He can situate himself in such a way that nothing can affect him. So then that's called Nishta, very determined stage. Nishta means very, very steady. Steady means Nishta. He's steady in his practices, his devotion. And he gets up early and he chants the holy name. He executes his devotional service. He hear, he chants, go to temple, and he only eat prasadam. And he always nice with his devotees. He always ready to serve, always ready to respect everybody. And he always, see that, what he can do. He sees every living entity very equally. And he sees that these are all part of and parcel of Krishna. These are all, the Lord is in everything. He can see that all. This is what it is called Nishta, or that is a very purified stage in that Nishta. Then he comes to that the Ruji. Ruji means this is where the love or the devotion and the love, the sambandha or relationship where really develops. When there is a Ruji, Ruji for whom? Ruji for Krishna, a taste for Krishna. That means now I need to associate with Krishna. Now I need to be with Krishna. Now Krishna is my everything. Krishna is Krishna Mada, Krishna Pida, Krishna Sarvam. That all this comes to the devotee's heart, that Krishna is everything for me. Krishna is everything for me. So this is where exactly that a Shanda, or Shanda means a very highly conscious devotee. That means Brahma Bhuta. That's why in the previous paragraphs it's mentioned that Brahma Bhuta stage. Brahma Bhuta stage means he understands, he sees everything. Now he is a purified state. Now he doesn't have any kinds of lamentation or any kinds of hankering. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma Nashojati Na Kamshati Samaga Sarva Bhuteshu Mad Bhakti Labhade Param. In that stage, one can attain that bhakti, that love, right? Bhakti, that love one can attain. And then here is the he develops that relationship. Then he comes to that nishta. Then he comes to that stage. After that, he develops that ruji, that taste, that relationship that he develops. This is my Lord. So this is where the Shandaras actually begins. Shandaras. So he has that relationship. He has that understanding. He has that mellow. This is my Lord. But he doesn't develop like very personal relationship. So when he comes to develop that a personal relationship, like when we say dasyaras or sakhiras, or we say valsalyaras, or we say the madhuryaras, now what happens? Then ruchi, right? Then asakti, detachment, right? Or we can say attachment to Krishna, attachment to Krishna. So this is where really it starts, is develop a relationship, that attachment for Krishna, either in the dasya form or either in the sakya form, form, and there is a parangal or valsalya or madhurya. So this is where really it starts. So when a devotee, we can see that there are so many wonderful. So see that up to this stage, there is nothing he doesn't lose anything, because of he developed this love for Krishna and came to this stage. And suppose we know that when Lord Ramachandra Bhagavan in the Dandakaranya forest, when Lord Ram and Lakshman and Mother Sita, they were walking through the Dandakaranya forest. So there were thousands of sages who were, meditating and worshipping the Lord, and they are meditating on the Lord. They were worshipping the Lord, and they were there for many years in the forest. So then what happened? The Lord was walking through the jungle in this forest, the Nagaranya forest, and they saw the beauty of the Supreme Lord. Naturally, this is what is naturally, because of they are on the Brahma Buddha stage, they are also attachment. They also have the attachment for the Lord. That's why they were all waiting for the Lords to come, their attachment. Immediately they attracted to Krishna. So dear devotees, this is very, very important. So a person develops such a love, such a stage that come to that stage and Nishta and Asakti, right? Ruchi and Asakti, attachment for Krishna, immediately we attract to Krishna. That's what is also another meaning of Krishna. He attracts. So Lord was going through and all these stages, thousands of stages. So the beauty of Lord Ram, they attracted to Krishna and they completely transformed. The Lord is Andaryami. He is seated in everyone's heart. He understood that the desires of all, the desires of that, how can they serve Krishna very personally? So that's complete surrender. And this is what is they, the sages in the forest, they completely surrendered to Krishna. They left everything. They don't have anything except some few, clothes. That's all they have. Everything they left for Krishna. They have attachment for Krishna. They have devotion for Krishna. As soon as they saw, they're all attracted to Krishna. Then they had this desire in their heart that when I will get an opportunity to serve very closely and personally with Krishna. So then what happened? So the Lord had this desire. So then after that, when Lord came into the Dwapara Yuga, so all this Lord was giving this opportunity to such wonderful devotees, and they all had an opportunity to take birth in the Gokul, and they were all like gopis. The most of the gopis, they were actually the sages and the devotees from the past life, and they were millions of lifetimes. They were serving and they were desiring for the Supreme Lord to serve very personally in that very loving, affectionately. Some were like a parental relationship with Krishna. Some were like, the friendship and Sakiras. Some Gopas and the Gopis, they were, friends with Krishna. Some were parental relationship with somebody was feeding Krishna. And it's also most of they were in the conjugal relationship with Krishna, Madhuri Ras. And then we know that the pastimes of Krishna exhibited for that. That the Brahma Vimohana Leela, when the Brahma Vimohana Leela happened, it was also all the arrangement of Krishna. So Brahma just came there, and Brahma had this little doubt that how come this Krishna, he is the Supreme Lord. Now here, look at that. He is sitting with all other, childhood friends, and they were eating they were eating. And Krishna is taking the food from others' mouth. See that their devotees, Krishna is the Supreme, and he is showering the mercy upon, because of he is completely surrendered to his devotees, and his devotees, his devotion, his love, Krishna is completely surrendered to that. So here Brahma saw that Krishna is taking and eating the prasadam from everybody's plate and the mouth. They share each other and they are joking like a ordinary boy. So how come this ordinary boy can, the Supreme Lord? So let me see what is the power of this little boy. And Brahma heard even that this little boy, even that's comes after the Govardhana Leela and all. So, and but he heard that he killed many demons in the Vrindavan. So then Brahma stole, right, all the cows and the cowherd boys and put it in a cave. And then when Krishna, then they were eating. While eating, this is just before the killing of the Gasura. And then they were eating, and then all on a sudden the cows went away and couldn't see. It was Brahma's plan. Brahma took the cows. Then Krishna said to the all the friends that we don't see our cows. Can you check? So the gopis went, and they couldn't also gopis. And Krishna went. Krishna went, and then Krishna came back. Nobody is seen around, and except Balaram. And then Krishna understood that what happened. So Krishna immediately replicated himself. No difference. See, we know that in the Dwaraka, Krishna is replicated himself 16,108 Krishna. So when we say that this Krishna or that Krishna is same or different, but actually in reality, this Krishna and that Krishna is all same. No difference. So this is the Achindya Bheda Abheda Tattvam. Krishna can be in innumerable form, the same Krishna, no difference. So similarly, what happened? Krishna also replicated himself. No difference. So the reason for that Krishna replicated himself. Now we know that there are a lot of cowherd boys and cowherds, or the cows and the calves, All Krishna replicated himself equally to that, and this is nothing but Krishna himself. And then they all then, Krishna replicated the cowherd boys, and they all took the cows back to their home. So now, when the Krishna went as a cow or a cowherd boys or the cowherd men or whatever they are, this is all nothing but Krishna, nobody else. So now Krishna is in each and everybody's home, each and everybody's house. Now Krishna is going there and eating from their hands and joking with them and helping them and their parental affection with the Krishna. And so many wonderful pastimes it was manifested. Wonderful pastimes manifested. And think about that. It was going on for 1 year, devotees. 1 year. 1 year this was going on. And then the cows was showing so much of affection towards their their keepers and hajamans, and then the owners, and then the they were the gopas and the gopis, they were showing so much of affection each other. It's nothing but just an exchange of love, nothing but just exchange of love. So this was went on for 1 year like that. So Krishna was giving himself available to all of them, each of them, because they had that desire for it, the devotees. So this is what is the results of when one developed the relationship with Krishna. Krishna would give them, Krishna would surrender to such devotees, Krishna would offer himself to such devotees and to reciprocate their loving relationship. We know that another pastimes why Krishna raised the Govardhan, there is some another internal meaning of it, why Krishna raised the Govardhan. So Acharya says that every day Krishna goes to forest. When Krishna was Pauganda, age of Pauganda, he got an opportunity to get the cows or herd the cows into the forest, and he was going through. So now earlier, before that, all the gopas and the gopis covered Vrindavan in Brajabhumi. They were having an opportunity to see Krishna all the time. Either Krishna comes to steal the butter, or some complaints how these are here and he's going and friends are going in each and every house. They were so much attached to Krishna. If they says that if Krishna doesn't come to our home, they are so dissatisfied. They were so unhappy, as if like they don't have life here in their body. They were so kind of weak. So this was going on. Then they heard the news that Krishna is now going to the forest. So Krishna leaves almost in the morning, comes back in the evening. Then Krishna comes to home, and then now there is a big, very much feeling of separation from Krishna. Very much feeling of separation from Krishna. So Krishna understood this. Krishna was understood this, and Krishna is always in the heart of everybody. And the Krishna can see that how much they are going through. Because of that feeling of separation, when the devotees experience, it's very difficult to overcome. Very difficult to overcome. So then Krishna was here seeing all this, the mood and attitude, and everybody's so much disappointed, and they have lethargy, all these kinds of they don't even like to do anything like before. So, but when Krishna comes back in the evening, the moment they hear the sound that the Krishna is coming, what they do? They all come out from their homes, and somebody, climb on the rooftops and look at Krishna. Krishna is coming. Krishna is coming. They were so jubilant and happy. This was going on. So this was going on for, at least for a couple of years now. So then what happened? Krishna made a plan now. Okay. So all the gopis and the gopas, they had this feeling of separation. Now let me do one thing. Okay. So now that's where all this wonderful pastime is happening. Krishna is, prohibiting Nanda Baba to, this Indra Puja. Then Krishna was convincing Nanda Baba to, worship the Govardhan. And then, then Indra didn't have, Indra didn't, happy, and hearing this, Indra started to shower this so much of heavy rain. And then it was going for a week, and then everybody was so much afraid. It's like a rain, like a tornado and a hurricane, and all this coming together. They were all afraid of. They came to Krishna. So Krishna told to them that Krishna understood what is happening. Krishna told them that no worries, no worries. You come with me, and you take shelter, and Krishna immediately went there and raised the Govardhan. When Krishna raised the Govardhan, it was like, we know that how many kilometers, almost 24 kilometers of. So when Krishna raised the Govardhan, Krishna invited everybody, come here. So underneath of Govardhan, everybody was so happy. Now, Krishna was actually fulfilling the desires of these Gopas and the Gopis because of the feeling of separation. Now, when Krishna was in the center and when he raised this Govardhan, everybody had an opportunity to see Krishna very personally. And very much, every moment, they had that opportunity to see Krishna. So, what they were doing actually when Krishna raised the Govardhan and when they were standing there, they were just staring at Krishna. And everybody felt that Krishna is looking at me. And Krishna is standing there, even though everybody is around. And they were feeling that Krishna is looking at me, Krishna is smiling at me, Krishna is talking to me, Krishna is, taking care of me. And this was the feeling of each and everybody when Krishna raised the Govardhan. So then they felt such, and they were doing the dances there just because of this happy. We know that the Bhagavad explains that when the Govardhan is raised, underneath that there were gardens, beautiful fragrant flowers, gardens, the streams and the lakes and everything was there underneath. It was not that a place Krishna, just raised, okay, you come and stand in this muddy place. No, it was a beautiful place. It was a garden, lakes and peacocks. Everybody was, even cows were there underneath. And they never had this time before because of the reason for that. They were looking and they were with Krishna each and every moment, and they were so happy with that. See that Krishna was actually reciprocating what the desires they have in their heart. So, dear devotees, why I mentioned that, because of when we develop that relationship and understand that develop the desires for Krishna would definitely reciprocate with this. So in this chapter, let me come to the the verse which we yesterday stopped. Okay, here. Yeah, so can somebody read this few paragraphs? So this,
Prabhuji, read.
yes, please.
Where do we start from? In this connection?
In this connection, yeah.
Okay. In this connection, Lord Krishna says to themselves of Raja in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, 82-44, devotional service to me is the life of every living entity. Indeed, your love for me is the only cause of achieving my association. It is said that Lord Krishna, in his relationship with his devotee, accepts all kinds of devotional service and then reciprocates according to the devotee's attitude. If one wants a relationship with the Krishna as a master and a servant, Krishna plays the part of the perfect master. For one who wants Krishna as a son in the parental relationship, Krishna plays the part of perfect son. Similarly, if devotee wants to worship Krishna in a conjugal love, Krishna perfectly plays the part of the husband or a paramour. However, Krishna has admitted that his loving relationship with the themselves of Raja in a conjugal love is the highest perfectional stage in Srimad Bhagavatam. Krishna told Gopi, Na priye ham.
Na pare.
I'm not good in English. I'm good in Sanskrit. You can read it, Prabhuji.
Okay. So, na pare aham nirvadhya samyujam so sadhu krityam vibhudas sapivaha ya mahabhajan durjaya geha srinkalaha samrishya tadva pradiyadu sadhuna. You can read that.
My dear gopis, your relationship with me is completely transcendental, and it is not possible for me to offer anything in exchange of your love, even after many births. You have given up all attachment for a material enjoyment, and you have searched after me. Since I am unable to repay your love, kindly be pleased with your own activities.
Yes, wonderful. So this is what is exactly. So Krishna would available to that devotee the whatever the way he desires. If it is a master and a servant relationship, so Krishna is available. If there is a friendship relationship, Krishna is available with such devotees. If it is a parental relationship, Krishna is available for as a son. He comes to us, comes to the son. So we know that in the case of many other scriptures reveals that the mother Yashoda, he is so fortunate. There was one poet, he compiled this poem like this. He's mentioned that Enna tabam chede Yashoda, right? What kind of penance you did? Enna tabam chede. What kind of penance you did that Krishna is coming as your son? Yashoda, Enna tabam. What kind of great penance? Even the Brahma, even Shiva, nobody had this opportunity. But Mother Yashoda, you had. Why that? What kind of penance you did? And you were grabbing Krishna, you were tying Krishna, you were beating Krishna, you were scolding Krishna. What kind of penance here that you did to come? Krishna is, coming like this. It would look at that. Look at that. So beautiful. So Krishna is reciprocate. Krishna would, come like that. Krishna would reciprocate to such devotees like that. He doesn't mind. We know that in the Sakiras, we know that how the friendships are, right? So here we know that in Vrindavan, Krishna is the Supreme Lord, right? Krishna is the Supreme Lord, is a control of everything. And here, when he plays with his boys, his cowherd boys, his friends, sometimes the friends would tell Krishna, Krishna, we are not going to include you in my team. Because of sometimes what happens, there is a clashes between the two parties, right? So when there is a clashes, Krishna would just go away. Krishna would just, make some mischievous and things like that. And then what happens? Then the teams will say, Krishna, I'm not going to include you. Other teams will, I'm not going to include you. Krishna would sit there on the gallery and very, what is called helplessly, he watches that others plays together. And then Krishna will start to cry. Krishna will start, it's like every child does it. Krishna will start to cry. No. Then Krishna would come and just beg for their, friends. No, I would be nice. I would be good. And please include me. Please include me. Then then seeing this pathetic situation, they would say, okay, Krishna, you come. Okay, Krishna, you play. So now what happens when the other teams defeat the other teams, then Krishna would carry, this may be the bet for the match, the game. So Krishna had to carry the friends of on his shoulders for some time. That's why, that the Pralambasura came, or, that the way that, Krishna Balram was carrying this Pralambasura like that. So Krishna had to carry this one. See that how much that Krishna takes this, the steps that, in order to reciprocate and please his devotees. This is Krishna. We know that in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Arjuna, and he became a charioteer. And he took that the position that below the Arjuna is on the top, and he was sitting there, and Krishna is sitting there, and sometimes Arjuna had to use his feet to control the chariot. And if chariot had to goes to the left, he would use his left leg, feet to touch his or the shoulder to go to the left. If the chariot, wants to go to the right, then what? Arjuna would touch with his right foot to the Krishna's shoulder. And because of the battlefield, the talking is not possible because it's so huge noise. So this is the way that Krishna would, reciprocate to his devotees, and doesn't matter. But Krishna is always there to fulfill the desires, be with Krishna, with his devotees. This is Krishna. That's what is exactly in whatever the ways, whatever the forms devotees desire in that relationship, Krishna would be available. And we know that the parental relationship, that the mother Yashoda, and that is just mentioned. And we know that the master and servant relationship, Hanumanji, even we know that Hanumanji, Lord Ram, when he was leaving this, planet, and then Lord Ram requested Hanumanji, please come with me, please come with me. So Hanumanji said that I wanted to serve you. Eternally, I wanted to serve you, and in the way that as long as your holy name is chanted in this world, I want to serve that devotee. I want to serve that devotee. As long as your holy name is chanted in this world, I'll be here to serve that devotee. This was the devotion of Hanumanji, and she thinks about that. That's why they become so eternal like this. And Hanumanji is still there. Hanumanji is still living and still there. So we know that likes that in the case of Mother Yashoda or Devaki and all those wonderful devotees. And we know that also, I think many of you heard about the Mirabai, right? Mirabai, and we can see that it's not that far away and or long ago or something, not maybe 300 years or something like that. Mirabai is the story is so beautiful, so wonderful. And even from the childhood, developed this love for Krishna, even got married, but Krishna as considered as her husband, worshipping in such a way that, and always had this reciprocation. Krishna had this reciprocation. Mirabai left the palace in Jaipur, the palace, and left the place and came to Vrindavan and completely surrendered to Krishna, considers Krishna as her husband. And then what happens? Krishna reciprocated accordingly. And then finally, then Mirabai came to the Dwaraka and merged with the Dwarakadesh, merged with the Dwarakadesh. So Krishna reciprocated accordingly. So there are so many, devotees had this experience. Even know that in Guruvayur temple, there is a very old lady called Kururama. It's called Amma because of she was very dedicated to Krishna and also seeing Guruvayur. The Guruvayur deity is like a Balagopal form, like considered as Balagopal. It's like a child, right? Krishna is in a child form, like a Balagopal, like 4 5 years old Balagopal, right? That's what. So everybody is also, especially this Kururama was worshipping Krishna is in that, they're like a child form. And always Balagopal, Gopal, Balagopal. And then this Amma became alone, and husband passed away. And then is a big, the illam, this, the Brahmana houses, and nobody is there to help. And then Krishna came as a boy there. Krishna came there as a boy there, and to help this Amma in everything, in cooking and cleaning and going to the yard, going to the farm, getting stuff, and doing this all this menial service for this Amma. This was happened not many years, maybe close to 100 years, and this was become very famous. That Amma became very famous. That so every day Krishna is there. Krishna is helping this Amma in all respect. And Amma became so affectionate to this little boy. And sometimes he was very, mischievous and very naughty. And sometimes his Amma also punishes this little boy. And then, one day, and Amma was offering the bhoga to Krishna. And then this little boy come and eat. And this was, Amma was about to leave the body because of very old, became very old. And this Amma then offering the bhoga, but Krishna would come and eat. So the reason the boy said, why are you doing this? Amma asked, why are you doing this? See, you are calling me, you are calling me. That's why I'm coming. You're offering and you're calling me. And then this was happened couple of times. And Amma became angry. That's the time Krishna, that little boy, showed his original form to Amma. And Amma became so astonished. And I was taking help from you all this time. How much I punished you, how much I scolded you, how much I mistreated you, but still you suffered all this. Still you suffered all this. So Krishna replied to Amma that, oh mom, oh Amma, that how much you have the devotion for me in all these lifetimes. And this is nothing that I am coming here. This is nothing. Now this is the time that you can come with me. And that Amma then immediately that went along with the Krishna. And this was happened in Guruvayur, their devotee. So this is what Krishna would be available. This is where it's come from, where it happens. We develop that determination and nishta and attachment for Krishna. Then we develop that. Naturally, we come to that relationship, right? Either the master that in especially in ISKCON, we are, Dasya Bhav, we take that Dasya Bhav as per our Acharya. That's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted all of us to follow that the servitude, right? Master and servitude relationship. And this is the ultimate. And also in the further paragraphs, it is reveals that even one who developed the Shanda, Dasya, Valsalya, the Sakya, then Valsalya, then Madhurya, then one comes to that Madhurya Bhav. So this is what is exactly the gopis, and Krishna is revealing that. Also, Bhagavatam says that nobody can surpass the love of the gopis because they're completely free from their material attachment. See, that's one of the quality that one has to have. They're completely, that Arjuna, Krishna was telling to Arjuna, right? Bhakto swami sakha chedi. That means you are the devotees, you are my dear friend and the devotees because of you are never envious of me. You were never envious of me. That's another quality of. So how can one develop this quality? Never, no enviousness, and always that the attachment for Krishna and no material attachment. All this, only by this our practice and the devotion. When then we develop the attachment, the raga for Krishna, when it's actually really we start to develop this the relationship with the Krishna. So then we can, there is a purity in that, then we can come to that the pure platform. So like that in the and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then further discussion of Ramananda, I mentioned that one should have exclusive devotion to Krishna, exclusive devotion, nobody else. So here Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj is mentioning on the next paragraph, there is some kinds of cult, some kinds of sambradaya. They think that, okay, I can worship in any form, then Krishna would come. But that is not recommended. Okay, I could worship, in the demigods forms, or I could worship in whichever way I want. Then Krishna would accept. No, not that way. So the process is actually one has to develop this love for Krishna or sadhana and come to that nishta and the ruchi asakti. Then that exclusive devotion to Krishna, then only one can develop, and then Krishna would come. That's why the benefits of Krishna, that means the Sri Krishna Akarshani, right? Sri Krishna Akarshani is the ultimate benefit when one develops that relationship with Krishna. So this is the way that this chapter is concluding, and it's very beautiful to understand. So thank you so much. Let me stop here. It's already 8 o'clock. Let me stop here. And so the devotees, this is very, very wonderful to understand, and also this is our opportunity as a human over here that we can develop this, this relationship with Krishna by practicing and developing attachment for Krishna, the Krishna consciousness. This way, this is where the pure love for Krishna develops and we establish relationship. Okay, thank you so much for joining today, and let's see anybody has any comments or anything that you would like to add, any other concerns, any questions, any reflections. Okay. Oh, I see the Dinabandhu Prabhu. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Dinabandhu, sorry, I was waiting for you and also I texted you. I didn't hear anything back.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, no, my apologies to you, and I'm so sorry to miss the class. Thank you so much. Yeah, I saw your text. I didn't look at my phone for a few hours, so that was my mistake.
Okay. I was just reminder, I was wondering what happened, and then waited for almost 7:05. Then I didn't pay much attention. When did he join? Then I could have then handed over.
No, Prabhuji, no. It was really nice to hear your class. Thank you. And I just appreciate how much you emphasized the importance of nishta, like when we develop actual attachment and love for the process of Krishna consciousness.
Yeah.
And that's really inspiring and a goal, a great goal for us.
Exactly. Okay, thank you. I mean, it's good to see you. And I was wondering what happened, maybe, okay. Thank you. We would like to add anything more of anything that since you are here. Dinabandhu would like to.
No, Prabhuji, no, nothing to add, but I may ask some questions. With other, let's let other devotees ask, but I have a couple of questions in mind.
Okay, Neeru Modaji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Nice class, clear understanding. Only I wanted to say, you said Brahma Bhuta stage is a Santarasa?
Yes.
And 4 Kumara was also a Santarasa. They comes in the category of
who?
Kumaras.
Who? Dhruva Maharaj.
4 Kumar.
4 Kumaras, yes. I mean, 4 Kumaras, not really. They were on the Brahman platform, actually, initially, not the Brahma Bhuta stage. Yes, I mean, we can say that they are the Brahman's platform. And yes, they were also Sabda. They were also, so they didn't have any relationship with the Krishna initially. They were not even, not only the relationship, they were not even having the personal aspect of Krishna. They were Brahmavadis initially. And then finally, by the mercy of the Lord, and that's another sincerity and the devotion, and in that aspect of the Lord, they got an opportunity to smell the tulasi leaves which is offered at the lotus feet of Krishna, that transformed them, and they saw the Krishna in very personally. And then of course then they developed their love for Krishna. But Jesus is way that they were also in the beginning stage of, initially they were in the beginning stage of their devotion, the personal, or we can say that yes, Shandas, yes, Shandaras, yeah,
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
then do it, no problem. Okay, Dinabandhu Prabhu, you can go ahead. Your
Oh,
life.
thank you. Yeah, no, I was wondering, when you're speaking about this process of nishta, like of course we go through the different stages of devotion, but I felt like you emphasized this point of like actually developing some love, some attachment for the process. I was wondering if maybe you could share about the connection between our developing love for the process of Krishna consciousness and our developing love for devotees. Like, how does sadhu sangha play into that?
Yes, yes. Yeah, that's where all. So when we develop the love for Krishna, of course, that's where in the beginning of the process of, so when we practice this sadhana bhakti, so then then we mature on it. Then we come to the stage of raga, attachment for Krishna, attraction for Krishna. Then also we come to the raganuga and the follow the footsteps of devotees and all those. Then we also come to the ragatmika stage of the bhakti as well. So that's where really that we see, this is also in the preliminary or the beginning stages of when we practice nicely. That's where real, I think, yes, we know that we need to associate with the devotees, we do that. But what is the real association? Are we really taking the association of the devotees, or are we giving the association? Or are we taking the association of devotees? That's very important. Or are we serving the devotees? Are we taking association of devotees? Are we following the devotees in real sense? So that's where that we get that opportunity. Then we get matures in our sadhana. Then we started to develop the attachment for Krishna. Then also the same time that we also develop the attachment for the devotees. Because of then, as he always says, that when we have sincere devotion for Krishna, then Krishna would also, Krishna would also show the devotees. Krishna also give the devotees to us. Or when the mercy, Krishna, by the mercy of Krishna, we also get the devotees. And then by the mercy of the devotees, we get Krishna. So this is all works together in terms, because of spirituality is, it's not that only Krishna and his devotees, his paraphernalia, everything is belongs to Krishna. So when we have attraction, attachment, love for Krishna, means also that we have the love for his devotees, his pure devotees, and we won't neglect anybody. That's where we develop that real humbleness and the humility and devotional relationship and devotees relationship, and taking the shelter of devotees and follow them. And we see equally as important as the devotees as Krishna, same as Krishna, spiritual masters, representatives of Krishna, devotees and pure devotees, we would surrender unto them, we would do anything for, because we develop that love for them as well, because of this all by the mercy of Krishna. That's why many times Krishna would shower the mercy initially. That means Krishna would come in the heart, then shower the mercy that he sends the devotees in the life, and we get that opportunity to associate and serve that such kinds of devotees, the love for Krishna. At the same time, that we also have developed the attachment for Krishna. So many examples out there that how Krishna is sends devotees in many people's life, that by just by the mere mercy of the devotees they develop the love for Krishna. So yeah, so we can say that in the real sense of it, the real love for the devotees, and all this is happens when our practice, our sadhana becomes matures, and that's point of time we can develop that. Yes, we do the sadhu sangha initially, but that is just an association, just an what is superficial, or we can external association. But real association is that we develop real love for them, and we are really getting the association from, or taking association from, and are we progressing? That's what is all we need, is actually nothing but just take the shelter of a devotee, and everything else is comes to the way. That the story of Gajendra, right? So in the story of Gajendra, then we know that the crocodile, he was a Gandharva. He got a curse and he became a Gandharva. And Gajendra came and, as a crocodile, that's naturally tried to find the food and caught hold of the legs of the Gajendra. Then we know that Gajendra was Indradyumna in the previous life, and he was also that developed consciousness he had, and he prayed to the Supreme Lord, and plucked a lotus and offered to Krishna. And then actually, when Krishna came and saw that this crocodile, what Krishna had to liberate this crocodile first. So Acharya says that Jindradunna Maharaj was praying to the Lord for almost 1,000 years, like this, 1,000 years, in the sense that he was the conscious of, and he was also a devotee in Indradumna. So just by the touch and association of that devotee, the crocodile got the first liberation, and he went back to the Lord. So this is the power of that. So by just by taking the shelter of a devotee, even one can attain the abode of the Lord. But when you say that this loving relationship with Krishna and reciprocation, all this Krishna's reciprocation with his devotees, yes, that by our sadhana, and then matures that, then you come to the stage of that nishta, ruchi, and attachment for, that's the stage where we develop Krishna. And that doesn't mean that we lose that, or the same point of time we also have that attachment for, because we don't see differentiate now, right? A pure devotee always sees that I'm not a devotee, everybody else is a devotee. So he has such a love and devotion for such devotees no matter what. So he would do that, he would exhibit that, and he would always take care of that. So the attachment for Krishna, or relationship with Krishna, means relationship with his devotees as well, and he parallelly develop all these wonderful qualities. Let's say even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Dasa Dasanu Das, he was teaching this, because that's really experiencing it, that I'm not a devotee, I'm the devotee of all the other devotees of the Lord. So he developed that relationship. Did I answer, or did I?
Yes, yeah, absolutely, Prabhu. No, thank you so much. It's just nice to hear you elaborate upon that point, because just something that I feel a lot is that the devotees have a way of making the teachings, like that we see in the Shastra, that they bring it to life when we see the way that they're living, the way that they're practicing Krishna consciousness, and especially when there's affection, when there's affectionate dealings between the devotees. So you telling this, especially the story of Gajendra and the crocodile, yeah, it really illustrated, the point of connection to the devotees gives
Yeah.
so much shelter. So yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Yes, yes, it's very powerful and wonderful. Krishna never, discriminate, or if a devotee has so much of love and affection for another devotees, that's the greatest, one of the greatest quality of a devotee. That I was hearing this from the this Maharaj, Govardhan Prabhu's spiritual master, but I forgot the name.
Danadar Swami Maharaj.
Dandar Swami Maharaj. Dandar Swami Maharaj. Maharaj was mentioning, I was listening in one of the lecture. He came over here, Govardhan Bhatta. Vrindavan, there was almost like 89, like 90 years old, a devotee. He couldn't even walk. He couldn't even, get up or properly, and he couldn't walk or something like that. And he was very senior also, very pure devotee. And some devotees when came there and announced there is some service there, anybody would like to help. This 89-year-old, 90-year-old get up immediately, and other devotees were looking and sitting nearby and asking this Prabhuji, you sit here. Why are you running? Why we will go? No, I have it to, honor, have to, take this devotee's word that, I should honor this and I should obey this. So Maharaj was saying that this is what, the devotee, this is what the devotee takes, how the relationship and how the attachment and affection towards other devotees. Doesn't see anything else, just Krishna in everything. Even the devotees, they see this is Krishna's devotee. Krishna, I am nothing, I'm this Krishna's. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you for bringing that wonderful realization and the question. Okay. Anybody else? Any other comments? Any other reflections you'd like to add? Okay, so let's conclude then. If there is nothing else, dear devotees, yes, this is wonderful, wonderful, wonderful processes.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu was revealing that, but we need to do all. Try our Hare Krishna. Would like to add something?
Please accept humble obeisance, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu, for a nice class as always.
Thank
Prabhu,
you.
I need a clarification, please. Brahma Vimohan Leela.
Yes.
It was for 1 year of Brahma's time, correct? Where Krishna expanded himself as the cows and gopas and...
What I was understood from the Srimad Bhagavatam is, as we know that Brahma just took them and put it into the cave. Brahma just went and came back. That means it's just not 1 year of Brahma. It was actually 1 year of on earthly time, and it was just a splash of little seconds or here. He just put it, and just came back, and then that's what it is when he saw that. So this is on earthly time, that just a what is called little time that for Brahma, right? It is away.
Okay, so it was a fraction of Brahma's time, which is 1 year of our time.
Exactly.
Got it.
Brahma wanted to see what Krishna was doing, just wanted to see the, the opulence of Krishna.
Correct. Okay, Prabhu. Thanks.
Yeah, Brahma's 1 year means, you can imagine, on earthly planets, 1 day of Brahma is almost like 1,000 yuga cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Prabhu.
Okay.
Thanks.
No problem. Okay. Anybody else? Any other comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
I have a question related to realization. Like we have Brahman realization, Paramatma realization, Bhagavan realization, right?
Yeah.
So what exactly means? How do we know one person? A person is in Brahman realization, person is in Paramatma realization or Bhagavan realization. How do we differentiate?
Nice question, boys. Very good. Bhagavata explains that, we can, there are 3 aspects of the same absolute, the Supreme Lord. That is, Brahmedi Paramatmedi. Vadanti tat 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 vidattattvam. Yadhyanam abhyam Brahmedi Paramatmedi Bhagavan idi Shabdaye. Is one can perceive, one can have the 3 aspects of the Supreme Lord. There is Brahman aspect, there is Paramatma aspect, and then the Bhagavan aspect. So, how one can perceive this, or how can realize this? Okay, I'm on the Brahman platform, or I am on the Paramatma platform, or I am on the Bhagavan platform, right? Bhagavan realization. So, as we know that, especially the Jnana yogis, they were superficially, they understand about everything. Just, okay, this world, everything is Paramatma, everything is the expansion of Krishna. They may say that there is no Krishna. They won't say Krishna, but they say this is Brahman or this Aham Brahmasmi. In the Vedic knowledge, we say Aham Brahmasmi, Brahmedi. All these kinds of Brahma. They say this is completely Brahman, or that we can say that a very centralized aspect of full of energy, that everything manifests from that energy and is pervaded, that is energy everywhere. So all these Brahmavadis are called impersonalist, right? Or this we can say that all the Mayavadis, Brahmavadis, or based on this aspect that Lord doesn't have any form, Lord doesn't have any qualities, Nirakara, Nirguna, Vikara, he doesn't have any kinds of feeling, but it is nothing but just like a, just like a, the energy spread everywhere, and that energy is, making things possible. So how do we and one realize? Because of when he was more attached. That's what is his previous life or the karma or whatever he was in his life before. He come to that stage. Okay, that okay. Let me see Lord as as an energy in everything. He's all pervading that wherever I look. Okay, his energy. That's why they don't differentiate. Everything is okay. If I say this way, that's energy. This way, that's energy. Is Brahman. Okay, that's what is called Brahman or concepts or I am also Brahman. There is no difference, and this is where the concepts of Advaita philosophy. Dvaita means two. There is no two. Dvaita means there is no two. Everything is one. Everything is one. So they see likes that. So there are people, those who are more on this knowledge. Okay, there's the way that they speculate. They speculate, and then they come to that. That's called the ascending order, like arohana. They compare everything with themselves. Okay, this is what is I am also energy, that Lord is so, that Lord is energy, and they all, because of they may have some mental speculation or some kinds of knowledge here and there, or from the Vedic knowledge which they don't understand properly, but they come to this Brahman, all those things. And they don't go beyond that, and they cannot perceive beyond that, as we all know that, right? So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, I am seated in everyone's heart. From me comes knowledge. From me come remembrance. From me come forgetfulness. Right? Sarvasya chaha mrdi sannivishto madaha smridar jnanam abohanaja. From me comes everything. So, as Krishna always says that, ye yada mam prabadhyande stam stadeva bhajamiham mama vartamanu vartande manushya partha sarvashaha. I reward them accordingly how they approach me. Right? I reward them. Ye yada mam prabadhyande stam. I reward them accordingly how they approach me. So this is the concepts of that. So the way that they see, they wanted to see Lord, okay, as a Brahman effulgence. So Krishna is everywhere, the Lord's potency is everywhere. So what they ultimately come to the realization is that, okay, this is, all Lord's energy, nothing else beyond that. So this is the lowest platform of realization. We know that some extent, like, the Muslim brothers, right? They were actually like Allah Almighty. They will say Lord doesn't have any form, nothing. Lord is just, one, energy, like Allah Almighty. He is everything. So doesn't have. This is their realization. Or there are impersonalists or Mayavadis, their realization like this, but they cannot go beyond that. Okay. So this is first the Brahman realization, or who, how I can. And if you are not able to understand the personal aspect of the Lord, or we cannot perceive that the Lord is also in our heart and everything comes from Him, then He comes to that stage. Okay, then now that means that He's not even come to the personal aspect or the Paramatma or even the Bhagavan aspect of Krishna. We can see that He is still on this Brahman path. So they may have faith in the Lord, they may have understanding of the Lord, but their understanding is very limited, and that's the lowest stage of the Brahman realization. Then we can see that when you come to the Paramatma realization, so the sixth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, so Krishna says that Ashtanga Yoga, or somebody says this is Kriya Yoga, so many other yoga comes with that. So what they do, they meditate. Okay, they meditate upon, they may start with Om, right? They may start with Om, that okay, the Om that they have, that kind of understanding is I am part of the Lord. Okay, I am also part of the Lord, and let me meditate about that potency, and let me focus on myself. When we bring that the breath, when we bring that the mantras of the Om, and let me put myself in such a way that, so he meditate, he comes to that within, right? He meditate upon that, he comes to that within. Then some point of time, then what happens? He get an opportunity to realize that the Lord is in their heart. Okay, this is called Paramatma realization. So the seekers of the truth, what they do, They see everything, energy, everything. So their focus is on that. They come to that, okay, Lord is in everything. Now, the yogis, now they come to this stage, or they wanted to understand and seek more and more. They come to that, okay, let me do this, let me just sit there and do the yoga, sit properly. So what happens? He can, that invocation, or that the potency of the Paramatma, that the Lord is in the heart, now sprout, or now he feels it or realizes it. Oh, this Lord is also in my heart. That's why many yogis, they get some kinds of realization, that they can say that, okay, I was hearing this one of the lecture, that the Paramananda, what is that? Yogananda Paramahamsa, something like that. He was a very yogi, and his spiritual master was also very yogi. And what happens, and he was explaining in his one of his book or something, I was hearing from like somewhere, that he was saying that, yes, he was realizing that the Lord in the heart, he was explaining that. So this is that we can say perfection of the yoga, or that we can say that the yogi, not the bhakti yoga, but the yoga, that they come to that stage that they feel the presence of the Lord in their heart. So many devotees even know that when the Narada Muni, right? Narada Muni, initially he was a young boy, like just 5 years old. That then the mother passed away by the snake bite. Narada Muni left the home, and he understood that what is the purpose of the life. He was walking and walking and walking and walking. Now he didn't have much idea about anything, but he was very focused on the Lord, right? Focused, and then he was walking, and he came to the north, and all the way he walked, and then finally that he got a words, and he realized that he could see that the Lord is in the heart. Okay, he could see that the Lord is in the heart. Then he heard a sound that, oh Narada, that you will not see me in this lifetime, but you will see me in person in the next lifetime. So that's what also we can see, that he was experiencing that Supreme Lord in his heart. We know that the case of Brahma was meditating. What was Brahma meditating on? The sound, the tapa, right? The tapa, right? That's what is the sound the which Brahma heard. And Brahma was meditating almost for 2 million the years of earthly years, that we can say that, or the demigod years, heavenly years. And then what happens? Initially, the Lord manifested in the heart of Brahma, right? Tene Brahma Hrude Adikave Muhyandiyat Suryaha. Lord is imparted this knowledge, right, in the heart of Brahma. So this is what is happening. This is also another, when the person does this yoga, or this, the meditation and the yoga, the process, Lord first comes into the heart. Similarly, Dhruva Maharaj was also meditating on the Lord, and he was seeing that Lord in the heart, right? That the 6 months, the final Lord, Dhruva Maharaj was seeing the Lord in the heart. Then what happened? Then all of a sudden, Lord is disappeared. He disturbed. He opened his eyes. The same Lord is standing in front of Dhruva Maharaj. See that? The first comes to the heart. So this is the yogi experiences that. This is called the Paramatma realization of the Supreme. Then actually comes to that the Bhagavan realization of Bhagavan aspect. So this only comes that we can, worship. That's called personal aspect of the Lord, personal worship. And this is the topmost of all the realization, or the highest of all the realization, is that when one develops the loving devotional service by the mercy of the Lord and his devotees, then only he can come to this realization of Bhagavan realization. When once get the mercy of his devotees and the Lord, and he was pious, and in his past life he was very pious and worshipping the Lord, then he come to that the final stage, the highest stage of that, the the personal. That's why in the Brahma Samhita, Brahma says, Premanchana Churida Bhakti Vilojanena Shanda Sadeva Hridayeshu Vilokayanti Yam Shama Sundara Majindya Gunaswarupam Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. And also, in another place says that Advaidam Achyudam Anadim Ananta Rupam Adyam Purana Purusham Navayauvanam Ja Vedeshu Durlabham Adurlabham Atma Bhaktau Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhaja. Advaidam Achyudam Anadim. Here Advaidam means not that just one. Advaidam means he is eternal. right? That's what it is mentioned. But who can see that? My devotees, my devotion. So who gets that? So one who passes through this loving devotion or the mercy of the Lord, mercy of the devotees, one who has been practicing this devotion for many, lives or many years, then he comes to that understanding that he personally he sees that the Lord, that the Supreme Lord is beautiful, beautiful. That's what is Brahma could see that. After his wonderful, meditation, and the Lord appeared in this heart, and then finally what happened by the devotion that Brahma had, Lord appeared before Brahma and shook hands with the Brahma. Just by the touch of that, Brahma could realize everything that. So this is what his devotees also understand by the devotion, pure loving devotion for the Supreme Lord. The devotee can come to that stage, that level of realization and understanding that Lord has beautiful form, lotus face, lotus eyes. That's what is we can see that and there Srimad Bhagavatam, all the scriptures, all the Puranas, what it was revealing, it was revealing by the devotees. So when the devotees reveals, they reveals the beautiful form of the Lord, the beautiful eyes, lotus eyes, the Golok Vrindavan, the cows, the cowherd boys, the Govardhan, the streams, everything. Because of this is the Bhagavan aspect. Bhagavan aspect is what? Lord is also a person, but he is in a transcendental form. He has beautiful eyes, lotus feet, lotus, feet, and lotus, legs, lotus knee, lotus thigh, lotus navel, lotus chest, lotus neck, lotus face, lotus mouth, lotus eyes, lotus nose, lotus ears, lotus hairs, and everything. And his color, his form, his qualities, is all transcendental qualities. So only a devotee can perceive and realize this. That's why we know that how many stories. It's not that just a myth or something. How Krishna is coming personally to his devotees, like in the Vrindavan, like we know that the Villamangalam Thakur, right? I was mentioning the story of Kururama, Villamangalam Thakur. So where the Krishna is coming, that Bhagavan is coming because of their loving devotion in a personal form. So we know that the Sarvam Bhattacharya and the conversation between Sarvam Bhattacharya and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sarvam Bhattacharya was an impersonalist, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was revealing. And this, the important and aspect of Krishna, because of Krishna means all attractive. And without this loving devotional service, one cannot even enter into that. One cannot even enter into the realm of that Krishna's abode. Then what about the if there is no service, no, there is no personal relationship. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was also mentioning that there is an abode for Krishna, there is a realm for Krishna. Krishna has descending avatara, he descends to this world from that spiritual world, and there's a spiritual realm. Krishna is a person, there is transcendental wonderful qualities. That's why it's known as Goloka Vrindavan, the topmost of all, right? Goloka Namni Dijanami Talejatasya, right? And as Alola Chandrakalasad Vanamalya Vamshi Reknangadam Pranayakali Kalavilasam Shyamam Drubhangalalitam Niyada Prakasham Govinda Madi Purusham Shyamam Drubhangalalitam Niyada Prakasham. So it's all descriptions that Brahma is giving about the Supreme Lord. Where is come from? This come from the loving devotion to the Supreme. Then the devotees can, with the purity, when their heart is purified, they can see Krishna person to person, face to face, and they can see all these wonderful qualities. And there are so many devotees that even the case of Srila Prabhupada had direct vision of the Supreme Lord, right? So many other devotees had direct vision of the Supreme Lord. Where is come from? That the Bhagavan aspect. That means when a person that matures and purified, and he had an opportunity with the mercy of the Lord and his devotees, and he was in the past life, he was very pious, he had an opportunity to serve Krishna personally, get an opportunity in this lifetimes that he can personally serve the Lord with that love and devotion, and then Krishna personally manifests. And I was hearing from Prabhupada Maharaj when there was the Jagannath welcoming. There was a devotee somewhere in North Carolina or somewhere. This devotee serves the Krishna very attentively, very sincerely. Every day they go and offer the bhoga to Krishna. So they had a practice of that, just remove the flute from the Krishna's hand, put it down. So this was they were doing for many times. So one day this Mataji went to offer Krishna the bhoga, and then she removed the flute, and she was very conscious and very clear and very attentively doing all this. But when she went back and about to take the prasadam from after, Krishna's, the bhoga, then she saw that Krishna's flute is back on his hand. This is Maharaj who was saying that Krishna's flute is back on the deity's hand, Krishna's hand. And this was happened also a couple of times, not that just one times. So see that how one developed that love for Krishna, then that Bhagavan, that Supreme Lord, will come personally to that devotee. So this only happens, this only is possible when then one develops the loving devotion for Krishna. This is called Bhagavan realization. That is, my Lord is also a person. Let me serve him. And without this personal aspect, there is no concept of serving. Okay, there is no concept of service. But Krishna, only by service, Krishna is attractive. Krishna is attracted. That's why Krishna means he's attractive. What does that means? Attractive means he's a person, he's attracting. So this is what is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu revealed to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. His name is Krishna himself. He's attractive. He's a person, right? He can attract solely by loving devotion service. This is possible. So this is the Bhagavan and the Paramatma, and then the Brahman, how one can realize, and one who is getting that opportunity to serve personally Krishna. As Krishna always says that this is the spiritual aspect. If we have developed that love, personal love for Krishna and service to Krishna, that Krishna would personally manifest to such devotees. And also, as we know that many deities in India, or we can say that is Swayambhu. Swayambhu means self-manifested. We know that the Pandharpur, Lord Vittaladev, it was not somebody carved or anything like that. Krishna came there and stood there, and that became a wonderful deity of Krishna. There are so many temples out there. And how come? Because of the devotees have that devotion for Krishna to serve Krishna manifest. That's why many devotees have Archa Vigrahas. Deities are coming to their home. But devotees, they welcome the Lord. They welcome the Lord. Where is coming from? When they have that devotion for Krishna, Krishna would manifest to such devotees to receive service from that devotee. That's where the Lord is coming to the homes as in the form of deity. Don't underestimate, oh, this is just a met. No, this is Lord himself. But we don't have, but still Lord is so merciful. Even though we offer everything, not that up to the standard. But Krishna is Bhavagrahi Janardana. Krishna sees the heart of the devotees, and Krishna would reciprocate accordingly. He would personally come and receive the service from such devotees and the form of deity. So all these are actually the Bhagavan realization. Okay.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Very nicely explained. Very nice. Thank you.
Thank you for a nice question. Wonderful. I think there was always confusion of this Bhagavan, Paramatma, and Brahman, all this, different things. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Anything else? Anybody else? I think it's a bit late now.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. It's very nice to hear you, and all that. Also, the repeated bhavas, the way you was asking question, but I was driving that time. But very nice to hear all this.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I just wanted to add a quick realization. I realize it is late. Based on the last question from Prabhuji, how does one know where they are? And my experience has been one knows where they are when you know in your heart of hearts that say Krishna is one with the entire universe, or Krishna is in everyone's heart, or Krishna is actually a person that you can have a loving relationship with. Because in my experience, I came to my spiritual path as an atheist. And I think by Krishna's mercy, I was giving a spark of remembrance. And over some time of studying and hearing, I did finally realize that, God is one, but it wasn't the complete knowledge. And after more hearing and more mercy from, a sadhu in particular, I was able to realize the Paramatma And it was something that I could understand my heart of hearts. I knew I'd read and heard in the Srimad Bhagavatam that God was a person, but I didn't believe it. I knew when I had Brahman realization that God was in everyone's heart, but I didn't believe it. But Krishna gave me the remembrance that he is in everyone's heart, and it created an immediate change in me. One, I believed that God was in my heart, and two, I had to give up hunting and fishing and meat eating because I could understand that every living entity had also God in their heart. And so it was pretty clear, okay, I've made it from one step to another, but I still didn't believe that God was a person. And one of my Shiksha gurus had said, when asked, how does one understand Krishna or come to love Krishna? And he said his advice was to continue to hear. And so every day I heard Srimad Bhagavatam, and every day I read, and every day I chanted, and every day I prayed to Krishna, even though I didn't believe in Krishna fully, to let me understand you. And at a certain point, Krishna presented himself in a way that I could not ignore. And I knew within my heart of hearts, without a doubt, that Krishna was real. And so the simplest way to answer that question is, how does one know where they are in their level of realization is, well, ask yourself, what do you believe in your heart of hearts? Do you actually believe that Krishna was a little blue cowherd boy? Or do you believe, maybe you don't quite believe that yet. But when you truly know, and there's nothing that could convince you otherwise, then you've had the realization, and you can understand where you are. Hare Krishna.
Very nice, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Such a wonderful realization, wonderful understanding. That's what is exactly is the fact. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So nice to hear from you. Okay. Anything else? Anybody else? Any other comments? Okay, let's conclude today's class. So we'll continue tomorrow. Tomorrow is we start the class like 30th chapter, the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. This is also further conversation between the Ramananda Rai and the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and this goes beyond. Okay, this is we were up to that different relationships. Now it goes beyond our understanding the the devotee, the topmost devotee and the Supreme Lord. What is that relationship? You cannot compare that, just a Madhurya. When you come to that Srimati Radharani and Krishna, this Adhiruda Bhav, there is Mahabhav, and we cannot even imagine, and we cannot even understand that, but we can just let it go through it, and then so that we can keep it in our heart and purifies us also. So thank you. So thank you. Let's pray together. Vancha kalpatarupasya kripa sindhubheva padidanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Vaishnavvrinda ki jai. Viraj Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai.
Jai.
Prabhupada ki jai. Ananda Vaishnavvrinda ki jai.
Jai.
Gaura Premanande Hari Hari.
Hari
Yeah. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.